Buying gifts is really hard, especially for nerds. When I shop for my friends, I tend to gravitate towards merchandise from things that they like, but sometimes merch runs dry or it just gets really expensive. As an artist, I also enjoy going the handmade route, usually featuring some sort of custom art of my friends' original characters. Last Christmas, I had a new idea for a piece of merchandise that I could design: playmats. Today, I'm going to walk you through the process of how I made custom mats for my friends and how you can do it too in 3 easy steps. If you don't know, a playmat is a padded piece of fabric that can be used as a mouse pad or desk mat, or it can provide a surface to play card games on. The multifunctionality of a playmat is what makes it a perfect gift for anyone. For example, an artist like myself could use one for their drawing setup. It also makes the perfect addition to gaming spaces of all aesthetic varieties, from cottagecore cozy to cyberpunk. It even works for playing card games like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon TCG, or even real-life Balatro. My friends and I do all of the above, so I wanted to design a mat that could be versatile for them, which led me to step 1 of the creation process: brainstorm. As a starting point, think a bit about your intended gift recipient. What things do they like? Do they have a favorite color, aesthetic, piece of media? What would they use this mat for? Work, gaming, playing cards, D&D? In my case, I decided I wanted to make 2 mats for my 2 best friends who are sisters. They happen to love things that match, so I knew right away that I wanted the mats to have a matching theme. They would also likely be using their mats at their computer setup, and I know their favorite pastime is playing the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV Online, with an expanded free trial that includes the award-winning Heavensward expansion and also the award-winning Stormblood expansion. So I ran with that concept: matching playmats featuring my friends' original characters. That brings us to step 2, which is the fun part: designing. You can go about this in so many different ways, regardless of your artistic skill. The only thing I ask, nay, beg of you, is don't use AI. Have you ever heard the expression, "It's the thought that counts"? The same rule applies here. Even if you don't know how to draw yet, it's way more important that the intention behind your gift is apparent. The ideation and thought you put behind it is part of what makes it a great gift. So then, what are some options for people of varying artistic experience? For one, you could use a free design app like Canva. Now, I know what you're thinking: Canva is technically free, but all the good stuff is locked behind premium features, right? Wrong! You don't need to pay any money to achieve a good result, and I can prove it. I actually designed 3 playmats in Canva with a free account. No money necessary. This is not sponsored by Canva, by the way. I kind of just wanted to prove that it was possible. I'm going to speed up the design process here just so you get the gist of how it went. If you want any of the designs that I made, I'll link them down below, and you can use them for free if you want. I don't care. As you can see, it took a little bit of creative thinking to stretch the limits of what free Canva can do, but I ended up with 3 designs that I would actually love to have on a playmat, and I might order one someday. And best of all, no money was spent, just a little bit of time and effort. Now, if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, you could try Photopea, which is a free Photoshop alternative that works in the browser. Photopea has nearly all of the exact same features as a base version of Photoshop, minus the AI garbage that they're pushing out right now. And you don't have to pay a single cent to use it. You just type it in your browser and you are ready to go. I will spare you a lengthy tutorial on how to use Photopea, given that it's nearly identical to Photoshop. You can find all sorts of free Photoshop tutorials on Google or YouTube that'll show you how to create a fun picture. If you don't have a drawing tablet or you're not a confident artist, you can also use Photopea to create photo bashes, collages. You can mess around with shapes, colors, gradients, things like that to create a design without having to actually draw. I would caution you against pulling random images from the internet just for copyright reasons, but if you're just making this for your friend, I'm not going to tell on you. Go crazy, do what you want. Now, if you are artistically inclined like myself, you can use your favorite drawing application or even traditional pen and paper to create whatever design you want. For my design, I used Clip Studio Paint on my laptop. Now I'll walk you through how I design my playmats. First, we have to prep the canvas. The standard size of a playmat is 24 inches by 14 inches, so that's the canvas size I used. Let me introduce you to the stars of the show, Oscar and Toshiyuki, affectionately known as Oski and Toshi. I'm lucky enough to have detailed reference images of these characters, which made the drawings much easier. I decided ahead of time that I wanted the playmats to have a minimalist look, sort of like these older style computer desktop backgrounds. I started with Oscar. He's a very beautiful and studious character. He typically performs a healing role, so I decided to showcase him hovering in the air, casting a spell. I started with a sketch to get the pose right, then moved on to blocking out the colors. The style I'm going for here doesn't have line art, so I can only use colors and shapes to get my ideas across. The minimalist style is tricky to pull off because you can't really rely on facial features or small details to make the character recognizable. You have to utilize their silhouette, color scheme, and the character's most distinct qualities instead. Oscar is known for his pink and brown color scheme, his bunny ears, and I would argue most of all, his round glasses. I added a white lotus flower in the background to help his silhouette stand out, and to tie back to his preferred healing class, White Mage. With a few extra frills, the Oscar design is finished. I then moved on to Toshi, repeating the same steps as last time. In contrast to Oski, Toshiyuki is a tank, so I showcased him standing his ground. Toshi is known for his horns, scales, and tail, his dark blue color scheme, and his affinity for the ocean. I had quite a bit of trouble deciding what white element I could place behind him to mirror Oscar's design, but I eventually landed on some whales and strings of pearls to add to his underwater theming. One fun detail you may notice on both mats is the jewel in the corner. It's an item you receive in the game that's connected to your character. I won't say any more for spoiler reasons, but my friends tweaked the official game lore to match their characters better, and decided that Oscar and Toshi each possess one half of the same jewel. My boyfriend came up with the genius idea to include the jewel shards in each drawing, which filled the empty spaces in the corners and completed the designs. With step 2 of the playmat process complete, we can finally move on to the last step, which is ordering the playmats. I don't have the resources to manufacture these mats myself, so I used a website to do it. I chose the website Inked Gaming, but there are other sites that can do the same thing, so feel free to research for yourself. Again, none of this video is sponsored. I just liked Inked Gaming's website and I thought it was really easy to use. I selected their custom standard playmat option, uploaded my images, and I was ready to check out and place my order. I chose to add the stitched edging upgrade to my order, which added $5 to the price of each playmat. If you're worried about the final result of your design, there is an editing and preview option for an additional $15 per mat. This means your image will be inspected and minorly adjusted, and you'll receive a preview of the adjusted design before your order is shipped. I was able to make tweaks to my design easily on my own, so I didn't choose this option. The base price of a playmat is $35, which bumped up to $40 for me with the edge stitching upgrade. Shipping was free at the time, so for 2 playmats, I paid a grand total of $83. Now I will say my order arrived a little over a month after I placed it, which sadly wasn't in time for Christmas. However, I did receive several email communications from Inked Gaming, so I was never worried that it wouldn't arrive. It seems like they had an unexpectedly busy Christmas season, and to be fair, I should have also placed the order earlier, but I was busy working on the designs at the time. But finally, the moment of truth. The package arrived, and the playmats turned out exactly like I hoped they would. Here's the final result. I'm really happy with these, and my friends absolutely loved them. Since then, they've been using their playmats in their gaming setups, and when we play Magic together. I would highly recommend making this gift for a friend, or even for yourself. I might need to design one for my own desk. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.